Welcome back to Bears News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. What if I told you that somewhere, hidden in the fluorescent glare of draft night spotlights, a single envelope could change the shape of an entire division? What if, tucked inside that envelope, there was a name so polarizing, so dangerously promising, that front offices from Green Bay to Minneapolis started making late-night phone calls the moment the cameras stopped rolling? Imagine the chatter in those war rooms. Coaches pacing, interns refreshing Twitter feeds, owners asking in hushed tones, "Are the Bears really about to do this?" Picture the fans at home, snacks half-eaten, scrolling furiously while the draft clock keeps ticking down, a slow-motion metronome echoing through living rooms from Rogers Park to Schaumburg. Rumors swirl. Maybe Chicago is flirting with a trench monster, maybe they're plotting a blockbuster trade back, or maybe, just maybe, they're about to set the internet on fire by choosing a player no one expects at 10 overall. The suspense is thick enough to cut with a steak knife. You can almost taste the electricity, like static on a television right before the picture locks in. Everyone leans closer. The commissioner walks to the podium, smile unreadable, card in hand. And in that breathless sliver of silence, every Bears fan asks the exact same question. Are we about to witness genius or madness? With the 10th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Colston Loveland, tight end, Michigan. Boom. The reaction detonates in layers. Well, first, a collective gasp, because a tight end this high is a headline in itself. Second, a wave of déjà vu sweeps Michigan alumni who remember the day Rob Gronkowski rewrote the position's possibilities. Third, a sound suspiciously like panic drifts from Detroit, where Lions backers suddenly realize the pass-catching arms race just escalated. The suspense gives way to fireworks, and Bears Twitter tilts off its axis in real time. Let's unpack why this selection is equal parts audacious and intoxicating. Loveland is 6'5", 252 pounds, and moves like a flux capacitor glitch in the Madden physics engine. His college tape is a mashup of hurdling safeties, sealing edges with bowling ball, authority, and skying for end-zone fades that look unfair on replay. Last year alone, he posted 68 receptions, 9 to 15 yards, and 11 touchdowns in a Wolverine offense that still treats the I formation like Holy Scripture. Scouts salivate over the measurable trifecta: 4.62 40, 35-inch vert, and a wingspan wide enough to blot out weak-side linebackers. One aide whispered he's Gronk with smoother hips, and that quote bounced around Hollis Hall until it sounded like prophecy. But the real twist, the part sending shockwaves through rival film rooms, is what coordinator Ben Johnson plans to do with him. Johnson's playbook is equal parts calculus and jazz improvisation. He loves heavy personnel disguises, turning two tight ends into a kaleidoscope of pre-snap motion that scrambles coverage rules. Add Loveland to incumbent Cole Kmet, and suddenly Chicago can morph from smash-mouth double tight to four wide verticals without substituting. Defensive coordinators hate that. Substitute to stop the run, and Johnson audibles to seam shots. Defend. The pass with nickel, and the Bears pound you with motion-powered gap runs. Loveland is the chess piece that makes every board look rigged. Of course, every gamble has a dark side roll chart. Skeptics point at the depth chart and scream, edge, rusher, nickel corner, another tackle. Those needs still linger, but General Manager Ryan Poles is clearly wagering on points over prevention. The strategy is simple: light up scoreboards and force divisional foes into shootouts. If Caleb Williams becomes the passer most pundits believe he can be, Loveland is his evolutionary Pokemon, the final form of the safety blanket archetype, 3rd and 7. Hit the rookie dragging across the middle. Red zone congestion. High point fade to number 87. 2-minute drill. Seam route splitting Tampa 2 like a hot knife through marshmallow. Yet durability sits like a specter at the back of every highlight reel. Loveland tweaked an ankle against Ohio State, missed half a quarter, then gutted it out at 80%. NFL collisions amplify those micro-injuries. If the ankle turns chronic or a knee flare-up from his high school basketball days resurfaces, critics will sharpen the knives. Chicago's medical staff signed off, but fans remember Kevin White all too vividly. Locker room dynamics add another seasoning of intrigue. Sources say veteran tight end Mercedes Lewis, equal parts blocker and sage, practically volunteered to mentor Loveland after one day of rookie camp. Cole Kmet, ever the consummate pro, reportedly texted Loveland the minute the pick was in. Let's hunt. Harmony, maybe. Competition, guaranteed. If Kmet's targets dip below 60, contract chatter could get spicy. Two hungry tight ends in one kitchen can cook gourmet feasts or start grease fires. Meanwhile, up in Green Bay, word leaked that the Packers front office slammed a headset when Chicago turned in the card. They'd penciled Loveland as Plan B if their edge target went early. Minnesota's newly promoted DC is already tinkering with 4-2-5 sub-packages to bracket the kid. Detroit. Lions faithful can't decide if they should rage or shrug, but the phrase Ben Johnson Revenge Tour is trending on message boards. Psychological warfare accomplished. Let's projection hop a year. Week 8, primetime at Lambeau, score tied. The Bears line up double tight, heavy left. Caleb calls a dummy cadence, safety bites, and Loveland ghost motions across the formation. Snap. Play action. Kmet chips, leaks, drags coverage. Loveland streaks downfield, linebackers 2 steps late. Perfect spiral. 38-yard touchdown. Silence. In the bowl. National broadcast cue. Remember the night Chicago drafted a tight end at 10? That's why. Clip loops through Monday morning talk shows until even neutral fans memorize his root tree. Smash that like button right now, hammer the subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a single rumor, reaction, or roaring revelation on Bears News Fan Report. The one place that calls the future before it happens. Go ahead, do it before you scroll, because what you're about to hear will have NFC North rivals doom-scrolling until dawn, and you'll want front row seats for every twist. Now, double the timeline. We're in the 2027 offseason, and the Caleb Williams to Colston Loveland connection has either rewritten the passing record book or blown a crater in Chicago's 5-year plan. There's almost no middle ground. Cole Kmet is entering a contract, year demanding top 5 tight end money, and GM Ryan Poles is staring at a blinking cursor on a spreadsheet that could tilt the next decade. Does he extend both of his 2-tower tight ends and dare the salary cap to blink, or does he trade one for premium draft ammo? Poles' phone buzzes non-stop. Contenders fishing for Kmet, rebuilding teams angling for picks, insiders leaking half-truths to stir the pot. Meanwhile, Loveland has just stacked back-to-back 1,000-yard campaigns, led all tight ends in broken tackles, and vaulted to the cover of video game simulations. Analysts debate if he's the evolutionary prototype. 1/3 slot receiver, 1/3 H-back, 1/3 hydraulic press. The kind of chess piece that forces defensive coordinators to keep antacids in their headset pouch. Chicago, flush with cap space saved on rookie deals and buoyed by overflowing gate receipts, signs a marquee edge rusher the same week. Local papers paint it as a masterclass in roster arithmetic. The entire chain reaction traces straight back to an audacious decision on draft night 2025, pick number 10, Colston Loveland's name on a card held aloft under the Vegas lights. Yet alternative futures lurk like alley shadows in a lake-effect blizzard. Picture Loveland hobbled by ankle woes, defenses deciphering his release package, the Bears still paper-thin at edge and hemorrhaging points faster than their electric offense can strike. The NFC North mutates into an arms race Chicago suddenly. Can't win. Sports radio switchboards light up with postmortems labeled "the cost of luxury," and polls fields daily reminders that a premier pass rusher was on the board when he went tight end. That sword of Damocles will dangle until the stat sheets end the argument. Fan sentiment. It's a supernova of extremes. One Reddit corner sim runs entire decades in franchise mode, crowning Loveland as the tight end who shatters Mike Ditka's rookie record, waltzes into Canton, and holds up 2 Lombardi trophies. Another meme forges polls into a medieval court jester tossing golden picks into a bonfire. Talk radio hosts run hourly polls, brilliant or boneheaded. The margin never settles above 55%, keeping call lines jammed, streaming, metrics spiking, and advertisers happily writing checks bigger than Loveland's gloves. And the marketing machine, it's purring like a tuned V8 on Lakeshore Drive. Nike leaks mock-ups of navy jerseys trimmed with subtle maize pinstripes, a cheeky nod to his Wolverine past. Downtown murals showcase Loveland stiff-arming a cartoon lion, captioned, "From Ann Arbor to End Zone Armor," and selfie crowds block traffic for that perfect Instagram angle. Youth camps across the Midwest, scrap old drills to teach the pro day one-hander, he turned into a Vine-era classic. In a city starving for gridiron grandeur, Mythology scales faster than Willis Tower elevators. Training camp morphs into a heat-soaked laboratory. Beat writers chronograph his get-off with stopwatch apps, chart every drop, tally each pancake block delivered to Montez Sweat during full pads 9-on-7. One scorching afternoon in Bourbonnais, Loveland steamrolls a linebacker, pops up flexing, and the sideline erupts. Cell phones everywhere, highlight clipped, viral by dinner. The next day, he whiffs a chip. Williams absorbs a blindside blast, and Twitter collapses into meltdown mode so loud it drowns cicadas. Every rep tilts public opinion like a seesaw in gale force winds. Scheme multiplicity. Ben Johnson weaponizes it like stage magic. He motions Loveland tight, shows outside zone, then slips him behind the line on a tight end screen that detonates a corner blitz. 2 snaps later, he aligns in a triple bunch with DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, forcing defenses into dime jumpiness. Next play, they slam heavy personnel. Loveland inline, Komet detached wide. The same pivot point, but infinite faces. Johnson's old Detroit mantra returns. Make them think, then make them wrong. With Loveland, the wrongness isn't just a mistake. It's weaponized chaos that prints on-field Rorschach tests. Special teams lurk as his silent highlight reel. College coaches occasionally unleashed him on punt block edges, a 6-5 reach, swiping leather from the sky. The Bears test that wrinkle in preseason, and one fingertip deflection flips field position, swings momentum, and immortalizes him in a single frame faster than any third down snag. Yet the million-dollar unknown remains chemistry with Caleb Williams, rookie quarterback, rookie mega-target. If their trust curve steepens quickly, whispered pre-snap audibles, back-shoulder déjà vu on broken plays, analysts forecast seismic fantasy value and real-world wins. If the timing sputters, frustration seeps like cold wind off the lake. Sideline lip reads get micro-dissected. Was that eye roll a missed hot read? Was that shrug a protection gripe? Modern broadcast coverage magnifies every gesture, and comment sections pre-write think pieces overnight. Through every predictive fork, one truth towers over Loveland's 35-inch vertical. Chicago chose boldness over brake-pumping safety. Boldness on the lakefront has a history. Sometimes it matures into iconic legends. Sometimes it ferments into cautionary fables retold over old styles each dark November. Maybe, years from now, fans will recount 2025 draft night as the ignition spark of a dynasty that made Soldier Field shake each January. Or maybe they'll mutter about a squandered luxury every time lake effect snow stings faces at halftime. So, Chicago faithful, the narrative hands you the quill. Does Colston Loveland become the gravitational force that bends defenses and trophy trajectories alike? Or does he fade into footnote territory in the ledger of gambles that never paid? Tell us below. Forecast his rookie stat line. Call your shot on his first signature play. Declare whether he's a generational chess piece or gilded window dressing. We'll pin the bravest takes for posterity and revisit when the echoes clear. Remember, you slammed that like button at the top. But if you forgot, smash it now, obliterate subscribe, and punch the bell icon so our next breaking blast hits your screen before your rivals even wake up. This is Bears News Fan Report signing off, reminding every secondary in the NFC North that the future just flexed its 252-pound frame. And it's wearing navy and orange. Bear down.